Rob, amidst all this uncertainty and that, we've still got to look to the future and players re-signing, one of which is Ben Moon, a guy who we spoke about has been here a very, very long time. It's a testimonial year, and you're delighted to have him on board for.
Yeah, Mooney's been here for a long time now, and
man and boy.
Yeah, for a long time, and I can, the nice thing for me being able to be here a long time is I can remember him as a lad, and running around, and I can remember a couple of conversations with Robin Cowling. I said, "You think he's going to be big enough, Robin?" And yeah, I can see development in him every year, and I can see him moving on, and he started to break through, and quite rightly so. And then he ended up behind Brett Sturgis, and he was Mr. Reliable, and a guy who used to spend more time in an individual review than talking about why I'd taken him off for 10 minutes and why I'd left him on for 18 minutes more than any other player I've ever known. For a prop, that was quite unique. He never wanted to miss a minute, and to be fair, he was very durable, and that probably limited Ben for a little while, but to be fair, it also probably allowed Ben to mature physically, mentally, emotionally into a very good player as well. And I think he kind of took over from Sturge and took over in a big way at the right time, probably for both players, and he's thrived ever since. And to think really he's not just been a good player for us, but he's kind of kept improving and kept moving and kept becoming such an important part that it's obviously these last couple of years has earned him international recognition, and he's played very well for England when he's played. And so to see that continual improvement is fantastic. I would like to think there's still a bit more in Ben, and I have to admit, I'll hold my hands up and say that he's probably carried more meters in the last 2 or 3 performances he's put in, and he's probably broken more tackles in the last 2 or 3 performances than he probably has in the whole season before. And I think that's quite an impressive thing for a prop to be developing. He's getting his hands on the ball, he's carrying powerfully, and everyone knows. We had a bit of a hiccup at around the set piece at Harlequins, but most people know that our set piece over the last number of seasons has been a key element of what we want to achieve, and Ben's been a huge part of that, and that creates the backbone of what Exeter Chiefs is about.
He's one of what I call those original group. I know they're dwindling by the year, but to have somebody like that pass on the experience, the mindset, the culture to the group below is imperative, I'd imagine. Yeah,
it's very important, but I think the important thing with any kind of culture is it has to be passed on by guys who deserve to be on the field. That's what makes it work, and I think that's what Mooney's done really well. Because that number since we got promoted has dwindled for a couple of reasons. Obviously the age of some players, but also that some players have been able to adapt and change and improve and develop better than others as well. And Mooney's been able to be one of those. He's had the benefit of being kind of at the right age to thrive for this period, but he's also worked extremely hard to make that happen, and that's what passes on culture more than anything else. Someone who's walking away and the guys who thinks a bit of an old fart doesn't pass on culture all that well, but a guy they look around, they see training with them every day and getting out on the training field every day and then performing at the weekend, those guys pass on culture really, really well, and that's what Ben's been able to do. But he's also been able to adjust as things have changed, because we are a different club, and the culture and the expectations around the players individually and collectively has changed over the last 10 years, and he's developed and changed and moved it on. So he's not just someone who's passed the culture on, he's been someone who's developed it over this number of years, and that's what good players do. They don't lock themselves down into, well, this is what we did 5 years ago and it worked quite well then, so this is what we should do now. Because 5-6 years ago we weren't getting in the top 4, we weren't getting to finals, we didn't win a Premiership final 5-6 years ago. We've moved on from there, and that's the important thing, is that these guys want to move the culture forward and the expectations forward and the challenges forward and the goals that the group set themselves forward, and he's been a huge part of that.
And as you say, the hunger is there, isn't it, with him? He's a player that isn't happy just to be a squad member. He wants to be first choice. I
don't mind telling you, it's the biggest question that goes through my mind every time I re-sign a player who's been here for a number of years or is starting to get a little bit older, is the big risk that you re-sign them the day they decide that they're just going to take it easy, and see out their career. And I don't mind. I spoke to Ben about it face to face. I said, come on, where are you then? What are you expecting over the next couple of years? How much rugby are you expecting to play? What are you, and to be fair, he kind of sat there, and I said, look, this needs to be a real honest conversation. We need to know where we stand, because you're going to be too important a player for you to not come forward for us. And interestingly enough, it's obviously Ben signed his contract, agreed his contract a little while ago, and I actually think he's played some of his best rugby of the season since he's re-signed and since he's committed to us, and that, for me, is all I can ask of a player. I'm looking at him play now, and I'm looking at him train, and he's fulfilling exactly the things he promised to me that he'd fulfil when we sat down and negotiated his contract, and that's probably a bigger test of him as a man than anything else I can say.